Yay, I'm on finally. Hey everyone. Hey guys, it's DeAnna Lorraine, your host and author of Making Love Great Again, the new road to reviving romance and winning at relationships. It is Friday, TGIF, everybody, and I'm sorry for the delay. I was having some issues with the stream and I couldn't get on the stream. For some reason, it was not recording and there were error messages coming up. And as you probably know, I'm not the most tech savvy. That might be the one blonde area of my life. Everyone has their flaws, right? So anyways, that was me, and I was trying to work with the New Right Network admins on the other side to get it back up again, and now it's up and running. So thanks for the patience, anyone who is still with me. How's it going, everybody, first of all? Yay! Thank you for being here. I just want to say thank you so much to my supporters and my fans. I couldn't do this without you, and you give me a spring in my step when I wake up every morning, because I know that I'm doing this for you. And if I just help one person in the following ways, if I put a smile on someone's face, then that makes my day and that makes my job worth it. If I give you some valuable information, some valuable tidbit of information that helps you in any way, or that helps your relationship, that helps your love life, or that just helps your life in general, any insight, then let me know, because that just gives me more inspiration to keep on moving, and it helps me remember that I'm in the right direction and God has placed me here for a reason. So thank you again to all my supporters in my MAGA, Make Love Great Again family. I couldn't do it without you every day. So thank you. We are not, yay! How's everyone doing today? Let's make sure the chat room's working great. Perfect. We've got John Galt Gus in the house. We've got Russ in the house. We've got Mulga. We've got Spanker in the house. We've got a nice, big, warm, and cozy Mulga family. Woo! So what's on the docket for today? Well, it is Friday. That's a good news. We've got some people, can't see you, but hey, DeAnna, like the video. Why can't you see me? Been laughing most of the day. Been a very long time. Well, that's good. That's good that you're laughing. Don't forget to like the vid. I'm not sure which vid you're talking about, but you can see me, right? Just want to make sure. Okay. So let's just get right to it, because we don't have a whole lot of time to waste. Can't see you. All I can see is your title screen. Okay, can you, nobody can see me? Let's just make sure before I move on so I don't talk to a brick wall here. Can everyone see me okay, except for DJ?
To take care of the farmers' needs properly. We provide good feed, then technology to increase their production.
What the heck is
when
that?
you give a few,
don't you hate those commercials that just suddenly come on and you don't want them to be there?
Ivanka Trump, who works...
Okay, so you can see me, hear me. Cool. You can see, I'll reset and come back. It might be you, DJ. Sorry. It's not me. It's you in this case. Spanker says, I look better all the time. Aw, you're so cute. Okay, cool. You can see me. Visual is perfect on Periscope. Cool. Yeah, there was something. Get the ad on uBlock on your browser. Okay, thank you. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty smart in most areas of my life, guys. I promise. It's just technology isn't it, that really is my little blonde area. Sorry, guys. But hey, if I wasn't bad at something, then, you know, what would I need a man for, right? Been watching prank videos all day and it turned out. Oh, thanks, Russ. I'm looking like someone's future bride right about now. Well, thank you guys. You are so sweet. Now, let's get on to the content and then we'll talk some more. So, Samantha Bee. I'm sure you guys have heard about what's going on with Samantha Bee. But Samantha Bee, who's of course her big thing, her show is called Full Frontal with Samantha Bee. And this is just, it's always, right, with these Jezebels, it's always something like that. Full frontal, you know, it's something like grotesque like that. Because if you want to make it in the world of comedians as a woman, you have to be really grotesque and vile, in your face. So, sadly, this was what she wrote about Ivanka Trump. Ivanka Trump posted this, "My love, Sunday morning." How sweet can you get? I mean, you have to be a Satanist to think something is wrong with this picture, right? Like that, to make fun of this picture. Well, let's look at who these Satanists are. Samantha Bee, there she is. Let's watch what she has to say about this. Let's just watch it again and make fun of it together and be outraged together.
At the White House chose to post the second most oblivious tweet we've seen this week. You know, Ivanka, that's a beautiful photo of you and your child, but let me just say, one mother to another, do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless. He listens to you. Put on something tight and low cut and tell your father to stop it.
Wow.
Tearing children away from their parents is so evil. It's the inciting incident in almost every movie we've ever cared about.
Yeah. Sincere, my butt. What I can't stand about this is, number one, Roseanne loses her job. Her entire show got dismantled because she put a picture of Valerie Jarrett next to the Planet of the Apes character, and they actually looked alike. They actually looked like they had the same features, and there was nothing racist about it. Do you know how many people in their lives, how many characters, how many movies, stars have been compared to an ape or Planet of the Apes? There was nothing racist about it. Was it in poor taste? Yes. Did she deserve to have her entire show canceled and everyone else on the cast and crew of Roseanne canceled? Absolutely no. That's when we know free speech is no longer free speech, but only for the right, only for those who share right-wing views or who are conservatives. Now, the left can say anything that they darn well please. We just discovered that we now have full license to call people the C word on national television with zero repercussions. You know, kids might be watching that show. You know, children might be watching that show. You know, young women might be watching the show. They're probably watching the show because they idolize Samantha Bee. And now they think, oh, it's funny. It's just a joke to call people the C word. I'm just going to go call people the C word all the time now on the street. I already see young women having the most trashy potty mouths ever, swearing like a sailor, thinking it's cute and feminist to do that. And now this is just another example of one idol that they worship, Samantha Bee, thinking it's so cute and funny to say the C word and say these grotesque words. I am disgusted with it, and I hope you guys are too. And it's just really sad. It just shows the degradation of society and just how badly the left has gotten, and so unfair and so biased, such discrimination towards conservatives. And so the most vile thing she's saying is ripping children from their arms of their parents. Yeah, the parents are putting them in this position to begin with because they should stay in their own country or come here legally. Come here legally. That's all we ask from you. Come here legally. We'll treat you with all the respect that you want, and we won't take your children away. That is the consequence if you break a law. and you trespass another country and you come here illegally, you might have your children taken away or you might get deported. That's a consequence. And if you hold on 1 second, this gardener seems to be literally right outside my door. So hold on 1 second. I'm going to get rid of this noise. Okay. That was hopefully helpful. Don't even get me started on this rant. Don't worry. Took a lot of people's jobs. The apes in the film universes are humanoids, not ape-like creatures. Like I said, millions of dollars thrown down the tubes because somebody felt offended. Yes. Just saw a tweet saying Roseanne didn't know Jarrett was black. Hey, I didn't even know Jarrett was black. I did not know Jarrett was black. I thought she was Middle Eastern. I mean, she does have ties to the Muslim Brotherhood, right? And then a few other things before we move on. Jermaine Greer says punishment for rape should be reduced. Why is that? Hey, have you guys noticed that that the word, that they changed the word from rape to sexual assault or sexual violence? They come out with these sneaky ways of changing the words on people, like newspeak, and it's very curious as to why. Now Jermaine Greer says punishment for rape should be reduced. Speaking at the Hay Literary Festival in Rails, the feminist academic called for the punishment of rape to be lowered, saying it is not a violent crime, but rather a lazy, careless, and insensitive act. Lazy? I don't know about lazy. I think you have to put some effort into raping someone. Why would she do that? Jermaine Greer calls for punishment for rape to be reduced. It's very curious, but I'm going to keep an eye on that because that's interesting, especially in the wake of Me Too. It just, I don't know, something's very perplexing about that. I would like to know what the motive is for that. Why would she want to have rape, the punishment for rape, be reduced? And why also did we change the word from rape to sexual violence or sexual assault? Interesting, right? What are your thoughts on that? And Pink. Here comes the LGBT people promoting the gay agenda. Pink tweeted a photo of herself wearing a hat called Make America Gay Again hat. I love these role models just promoting the gay agenda. Pink performs during her Beautiful Trauma World Tour opener, and she's made a name for herself as a longtime advocate and ally for the LGBT community. The star has rocked an androgynous style through most of her career and been an outspoken voice for LGBTQ rights. And on Tuesday, Pink showed her queer fans that she is here fighting for them with a hat that says Make America Gay Again, as a direct rebuttal to President Trump's campaign promise of making America great again. So, and then she wrote, who else is ready to make America gay again? I'm sorry, are we trying to make America gay? You couldn't be more blatant than that with the gay agenda, right? I mean, it is in our face. The gay agenda is real and it's here. And again, not that I have anything against gays. It's just that when it's being forced in our face and indoctrinated at such a young age of children as the new normal, this is my issue with that. And continuing on with the gays, here was a story out just today. The next generation of LGBTQ leaders is here. Great, great. Here we come more. This year, so she's talking about basically, all these new generation of LGBTQ people coming, and they're coming at full force. We have accepted the responsibility to speak in the face of injustice and refuse to be silenced. Wow. So this is all talking about the gay agenda that's going to be really kicked into high gear this year, as if it wasn't kicked into high gear already. And you know what's scary is this. Look at the verbiage here. Our LGBT communities have endured over 75 direct attacks by the Trump administration. So when you think of direct attacks by the Trump administration, we're thinking like complete undermining of a human rights, or something that's just so terrible, like, you know, an army attacking somebody. But then when we actually look to go to, let's investigate what is GLAAD, the gay advocacy group, what is GLAAD defining as a direct attack by Trump? So they created the Trump Accountability Project, TAP, is a resource for journalists, editors, and other newsmakers reporting on the Trump administration, and which catalogs the anti-LGBTQ statements and actions of Donald Trump and those in his circle. So of course, I mean, this is extremely subjective. Anyone can put anything in here. But if we actually look at these attacks, quote unquote, they're actually not really attacks. So like one attack is considered this. GLAAD responds to President Trump personally swearing in Mike Pompeo as Secretary of State. This is one of the 75 quote unquote attacks. Just because Mike Pompeo believes that God created marriage to be between a man and a woman, that's his belief as a Christian man, that is considered one of the attacks on the LGBT community. Also, transgender, you know, him trying to put transgenders, not have transgenders in the military, or not have the military pay for transgender sex reassignment surgery, that is also considered an attack, one of the 75 attacks. When really, again, the military was designed to have people be 100% battle ready. That's the mission of the military. It's to protect our country. So you need to be extremely focused and have nothing be a distraction from your fellow teammates. So being a transgender in the military, there's clearly some emotional trauma, there's emotional baggage and potentially mental disorders along with it. And especially along with transitioning into a different sex, there's clearly going to be distractions going on. So it makes logical sense that it would detract from the mission of the military. But once again, that's considered an attack on the LGBT community. And no, it's just they make it so blatant that they are not for, that the LGBT community is not benign. It's quite dangerous, and it's become quite a mafia. I hate to be the one to say it, but it really has become a mafia, and it's very scary. It's a direct threat to the family unit and to our relationships between men and women in America. So this is what they call an extremist group. They've called this a hate group. FRC, Family Research Center, the Family Research Council. This is what GLAAD calls an extremist group. And the Family Research Council is, sadly, it's just about bringing families. It's about restoring the family unit and fighting for marriage between a man and a woman, relationships between men and women to be healthy, and the family. They're against abortion. They're against Planned Parenthood. And that is being called an extremist group by GLAAD. So it's just really sad, you know, that this is what it's come down to, and they don't even hide it anymore. It's really crazy. So that's that. Need to let the Mike Pence get them, yes. Meanwhile, we MAGAs are raising MAGA families with values and morals, yes. Make families great again. Yay. Don't hate to say it. The truth is the truth. Yes, John Galtagus. Hillary and Obama were against gay marriage. Trump supported it. Yep. Well, it's crazy. Meanwhile, we might have some shred of hope in Italy that maybe Italy is coming to its senses with the Populist Party win. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but the Populist Parties win approval to form government. That's good. This is the populist parties with a history of antagonism toward the European Union received approval Thursday night to create a government that has already unsettled the continent's political order. So anything against the European Union is a good thing because we don't like the European Union. It is undermining our country and our values. It's all left-wing values. Yeah, make comments. So go Italy. I'm Italian, so go Italy. I hope that Italy maybe has a shred of hope that they can restore traditional values and conservative values to Italy. Make common sense great again. The family is ruined. Gonna have to move to America. Where do you live, Spanker? Gonna move to America and start my own family in my own way. I hate to say it, Spanker, but we are fighting for our family values and conservative values here in America, too. We are fighting really hard because right now the left is trying to destroy it by every means possible. Yeah, they should build a wall of their own. Absolutely. So, speaking of traditional values, let's talk about some things that I want to talk about today that will help in this area of values and relationships, because that's what we're all really here for. We want to make America great again. We want to make the world great again. But how do we do that? By restoring some traditional values and the family unit and creating strong and healthy relationships between men and women. That's really the relationship between men and women is so fundamental, and it's so sacred. And God put us here for a reason, to be with each other, to be workmates with each other. He did not create us to be on an island by ourselves, men on one island, women on the other island. That is definitely not in his plan. And he is so sad right now, I believe, at the disarray and the discord between men and women, how they're trying to divide, and people are falling right into that divide plan, that divide and conquer plan. So, he created us to be helpmates with each other. And how do we do that? Well, we have to have some essential relationship skills. Now, I'm kind of closing out what it seems to be closing out a relationship right now, and I'm kind of sad about it, but it has me reflecting on some really important relationship skills. And I believe that God's best relationship partner for me, I haven't met him yet. He has yet to give him to me, and I just have to fill myself with hope that he is coming. And I just need to continue to better myself and improve myself and be a Proverbs 31 woman, to continue to be the best person I can be so that God can bring me the best partner for me. But, I've created a lot of, structures. And, I think, to be honest with you, that God did not bring me my man yet, because it would have been hard for me to fully understand what single people have been going through all these years, and write a book about it and be able to properly teach on it if I hadn't gone through it myself. So a lot of people ask me, why aren't you married yet? And that's, I believe that's the answer. I think I'm not going to say that I have been looking very hard for my person. I've been in relationships before. I am not too picky. You would be really surprised to see the men that I've dated are, short, bald, slightly overweight, not the richest guys. There's, average guys. I'm not very picky. It's more about, for me, the heart and the personality, and do our values align. And it's been somewhat difficult for me to find a connection on multiple levels that fit that and that have our values shared. So I believe, though, that God intentionally had me not be married yet, because how would I really be able to write the book and talk about the war on men and the misandry that's been going on in our world, the division and the discord between men and women, how feminism has been ruining relationships between men and women, and really, the horrible effects of feminism on family unit. I wouldn't be able to really understand that if I had been just in a bubble, happily married for the last 10 years. I would have no idea. I would be probably pretty unplugged, because I would be devoting my energy to my family and my husband, and I really wouldn't know what was going on. People who have been married for the last 10 years really don't know what is going on with the country as far as relationships are concerned, and the connection between men and women. So I do believe that. I believe that God put me here as a calling, and and I'm excited. I just have to continue to be living in faith and know that God's best is out there for me. So with that being said, I know that there's a certain set of relationship skills. Thank you. Only God's love is real. Ooh, I love your screen name. Beautiful. DeAnna, find you a good, strong man who loves the Lord. Thank you. Now, that's interesting. A good, strong man that loves the Lord. That's important. But at the same time, being able to prioritize God, but also prioritize your partner is important, and being able to balance the two, because you can make God the center of your relationship, but also still have your partner feel loved and cherished and appreciated as well. And there's it's important to not be tyrannical about your love for God to the point where you are not tending to the needs of your woman, and you're not tending to the desires of your woman. So that being said, I want to talk to you about some essential relationship skills. And I've noticed that when it's really important to have this in your relationship, it's so essential. And I'm not going to compromise on this anymore. I compromised a little bit this in my last relationship, in the areas of communication. And I realized just how important communication, healthy communication is. And you have to choose a partner who has healthy communication patterns. If they don't communicate properly in a relationship, it's just pretty much doomed to failure if they can't see your point of view. And well, we'll go over it in a second. So we talked about the divorce rate. The divorce rate is about 50%, and it's about 50%. And they say that about 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Now, that's a pretty scary fact. And it terrifies me, and it's really scary that women can initiate divorces at that rate. And I think it's really wrong. Now, at the same time, though, we have to think about there's both people. A lot of times women will divorce men for just no reason, and it's totally unfounded. It's totally a bogus reason. And those women should be really ashamed of themselves. But there's some women, there's some times that I see the aftermath of a divorce, and a lot of times women will tell the man things. They will say, I'm feeling disconnected from you, or I'm really not feeling the romance, or I'm not feeling connected with you. I'm not feeling this way. I'm not feeling enough attention from you. And they really try to tell their man what's going on with them. But a lot of times a man is not listening, and he's not hearing them. A man can be very involved in his provider role, his role as a provider and a protector, and almost just like working, providing for his children and mother and wife. But he forgets about the relationship aspect between the romantic relationship between him and his wife. And a lot of times I find out that the woman has been telling him over and over that she feels disconnected, but he hasn't treated it as a priority until after she walks away. And then he treats it as a priority. But unfortunately, a lot of times it's too late because her heart is already closed at that point. So we want to prevent that happening as much as possible. We want to prevent the disconnect from even happening at all on both sides. So you don't even have to worry about closing a gap in a relationship, and a small miscommunication or misunderstanding doesn't turn into a giant rift that's irreparable. So how do we do that? Well, I believe there's a couple of skills that are important and a couple of elements that are really important in a relationship to make sure that that really works. Number one is I do believe that you do have to have God in the relationship. And people who are individuals of faith, you know, they tend to stay together and they tend to seek to God for guidance when things get rocky, and they pray together and they believe that their relationship has a purpose together, and they tend to be more positive people in general. So I believe that having God as a part of your relationship, being the center of your relationship, is very important. And people who don't believe in God or don't discuss God in their relationship, I just think that they have a higher rate of not succeeding and not pulling themselves through the rocky points of the relationship. So that is one, is God. Number two is having a shared mission and purpose and goals. You know, why are you guys together? What is your relationship about? A lot of couples don't even define that in the relationship. They don't know what their relationship is about. It's just about, hey, we're two people, we have chemistry, let's hook up. And they never really discuss it again. They never clarify it. So I believe a relationship, when you become committed, you become almost like a company together, or a business. A business who is successful has a mission statement. You have a purpose. You clarify what your purpose is, and then you have a mission statement that aligns with it. From that mission statement and purpose, then you can have cohesive actions together that align with that mission statement. And you guys are both then on the same team. You're moving together. You're both steering the boat. And it's going in a direction that is aligned with your mission and purpose. Those couples who have a shared purpose and you know what your relationship is about, it's more than just two people hooking up. There's a greater purpose for you being together, whatever that may be. But there is a purpose for you being together, and you've defined what your relationship is about. You define what your mission is. You're more excited about it, and you can see this tangible future ahead of you that you're both working towards. So that's a very important part of the relationship, having that shared purpose and mission. Praying together is massively powerful. Yes, absolutely, Rest, for sure. Too bad people don't stay together anymore and persevere. Oh, is my max output? Okay, someone said that they can't really hear me. Let's see. How about now? Is this any better? Is this any better? Let me know if this is any better. Okay, so where was I? Having a shared purpose is very important. Okay. Number 3 is compromise. Every healthy relationship, you take a little bit of compromise. And, okay, good. Cool. And it's very important to not be tyrannical about it. You know, a lot of people don't understand that, like, compromise is important. If your partner is feeling some way, there's certain things, of course, that you just can't compromise on. But for the most part, there's so many things that we can compromise a little bit on. And if you're just my way or the highway, tyrannical about everything, selfish about everything, eventually this is going to be really unfulfilling for your partner. It's going to make them really sad, and it's going to make them feel like they don't matter, they're not important, and their feelings aren't important. What they want isn't important. So if you're with someone like that, it's probably best to let them go, because they apparently want their way and the highway anyways, and it might just be better for them to be by themselves. They might not be they might think that they want a relationship or marriage, but they might not actually be someone who is appropriate to marry, because they don't have that skill, which is essential in a relationship, and that is compromise. Number 4 is healthy communication. Now, this is a big one. There's certain different communication styles in a relationship. I tend to be a very direct communicator and open, and when I feel something, I'm going to say it. I might choose words that are a little bit more tasteful or tactful, but I want to share that as close to the moment, if not in the moment, as possible, because I want to be honest with my partner. And the longer I go, if I feel a certain way and I don't share that with someone, then that's dishonest, right? I'm not actually I'm doing something, I'm behaving in some way, and I'm letting them just continue on in the relationship thinking all is okay, when really I'm feeling something different about them. So that continues to then fester, and that's a very dishonest behavior. Passive aggressive communication is like that, where you feel something or you think something about your partner, but you're holding it in, and you're holding it in, you're bottling it up, and then you're not sharing it. And that, you can only bottle that up for so long, and it eventually it's going to come out. It's going to come out, and it's usually going to come out in an ugly way or a much more destructive way, and at a much later or inappropriate time. Plus, when you're bottling something up, it's very dishonest. You're hiding something from your partner. They have no idea what you're thinking or feeling. All they know is maybe you're just getting distant, and they don't know why. Maybe you're starting to not act in loving ways towards them, and they have no idea why. They start thinking, what's going on? You know, does this person not love me anymore? Do they not care about me more? Are they not attracted to me anymore? They don't know. So, and then also when you're letting something fester like that, and you're thinking negative thoughts about your partner, letting this go on for days or weeks or months, that's going to be very poisonous to the relationship. The longer you stay in a negative thought about your partner, clearly, it's a law of attraction, it's going to start magnifying and magnifying. And your partner then has no opportunity to course correct it. They have no opportunity to correct that behavior or to resolve that, because they don't even know there's a problem. So passive aggressive is probably one of the biggest relationship poisons that there can be. And I hope that anyone out there who is passive aggressive, has a passive aggressive communicator, can really understand the gravity of that, how it's death in a relationship. And it's important to get work around that, to develop a skill of more open and transparent communication, because it takes courage to be more open if you're not used to communicating like that. But and again, yeah, you're saying in the chat room, if you do not argue though, if you do not say anything, then you're avoiding it and you're sweeping it under the rug, and then you keep sweeping things under the rug. And you know what happens when you keep sweeping things under the rug is eventually your rug is going to be like this up to here, because it's going to have all these pieces of trash underneath the rug, and you can't sit on the rug anymore. So that's what passive aggressive communication does. You're just sweeping things under the rug, sweeping things under the rug, but it's building up and building up and building up. And it's not at all healthy, and it destroys a relationship, and it also destroys the honesty and trust in a relationship. So I really hope that you guys can take a lesson from that. And that's part of what happened in this relationship, unfortunately. There were a lot of things, it's passive aggressiveness, and there was no opportunity then to correct behaviors because I wasn't being told what was going on. And yeah, no, I mean, you can say things in the relationship, you can share things in a more tactful way, but being passive aggressive is just the worst. The dirt becomes exposed, exactly. So some other things to avoid, or so to put in the relationship: healthy communication. And I'm going to go over a healthy communication strategy in just a minute. But effort, all right? The effort should never stop. And here's what a lot of people, especially men, I feel like tend to do. Once they finally get the girl, once they get the woman committed or married, then they feel like, oh, I'm done now. I can just relax and just get really, really comfortable. But that's really not true. You know, to have a really good relationship, and I've interviewed so many couples that are, you know, they've been married for 50 or 60 years. What are the secrets to that healthy marriage? And what keeps the passion and romance alive after all these years? You know, my grandparents, who were married for 63 years, they said if they weren't physically unable to have sex, you know, because they were, you know, one of them was in a wheelchair at the point, and, you know, they couldn't really move certain body parts. But they said if they were physically able to still have sex, they would still be having sex, you know, at 85 years old. And because that's how passionate they were of each other. And one of the things that made them so passionate was the effort. They never stopped that effort. They always, even after 4 children, even after many years, they still put effort into wanting to make their partner smile, wanting to make that partner laugh, wanting to make their partner happy, doing little things that just delight their partner or impress their partner. And they never got tired of doing it because they enjoyed seeing their partner with a smile on their face or surprising their partner in little ways all throughout their marriage. And they reciprocated that effort. So putting effort continuously in a relationship to make your partner smile, to delight your partner, or to make them laugh, such an important secret to passionate and long-lasting, healthy marriage. The effort does not stop after you guys commit or get married. And that is, one of the biggest things I hear when people get divorced is like their effort just stopped. They stopped romancing me. They stopped surprising me. They stopped, they just stopped kind of impressing me. And a couple other things. Okay, some other, so romance and passion, it's important to keep the romance and passion alive, right? Again, guys think that they have to they get to stop romancing the woman when they get them. And it's just not true. And I'm sorry to say that women are not needy, but it is a need throughout the course of time to feel like her man still loves them. We want to feel like our man is still attracted to us. We want to feel like our man still thinks that we're special, and that he still appreciates us and still wants to impress us. It makes us so fulfilled and so happy when our man does that, even after children, even after we've been together for years, but trying that wanting to impress and romance us. Otherwise, we just are not as motivated to have sex with you. We're not wanting to have sex with you very much. Don't get so lazy. It's a secret. And, it's something that, like, if you want to have a long-lasting marriage, great, but it takes some work. And this is just part of the work. I think it's fun work, personally. But laziness is going to create a very boring and non-existent relationship. And it's also going to create, like, a boring sex life. If you're lazy outside the bedroom with the effort, no romance, you only romance her in the bedroom, eventually your wife is going to start detaching and disconnecting from you. And this goes both ways. The romantic energy goes both ways. It's not that guys aren't getting the same reaction, so they don't know which direction to go. Yes, the courtship should never end. Yes, so romance is important, and again, a lot of men and women just forget that when you get in a marriage. They totally forget it. My grandfather was very romantic to my grandmother and never stopped being romantic. And attraction, keeping yourself attracted to each other, right? Having yourself remain attractive, keeping yourself desirable and sexy, and doing the things that keep yourself together. I'm going to be, no matter how many kids I have, no matter how long I'm with my husband, I want to always be sexy for him. I want to always be desirable to him. And that is a certain amount of effort that a woman should put in and that a man should put in. Keeping your body healthy, keeping your body, looking good as possible, and not letting yourself go. These are things that just always help with the passion, always help with the attraction. And again, attraction is something that should be not taken for granted. It should be having effort put in all the time. No matter how tired you are, keep the attraction alive, because attraction is a fragile thing. The other is gratitude. Okay, gratitude is something that's so important, not taking your partner for granted. How many people have felt like they were taken for granted or not appreciated after a while? You're just like, God, does my partner even appreciate me anymore? What's going on? You feel taken for granted. And that's because we get comfortable in relationships and we don't show our appreciation to our partner enough. And we're not telling them how grateful we are for them. And this is, again, something that will just slowly kill a relationship when you don't express that gratitude. So I would say expressing gratitude on a regular basis to your partner, and especially when they do something that you like. When they do something you like, you express appreciation for them. I love when you do that. Or thank you so much for doing that, for taking out the trash. Thank you so much for this thoughtful gift or anything like that. When you express gratitude and appreciation, it gives them the juice to keep on doing that, and it makes them feel loved and appreciated by you. So they don't even really have to think about, maybe I could find this better elsewhere. Maybe I would be more appreciated somewhere else. The last thing you want is your partner feeling like that. And they will feel like that eventually if you don't express gratitude and appreciation enough. And they'll also stop doing nice things for you if they don't feel appreciated by you. You know, eventually it will just kind of feel like a slow death to them. Nobody wants to feel, it's kind of like this. I feel like we are signing up with a lifelong commitment to you. You better make it worth it. You know, I will promise to make it worth it for you. I will promise to make it worth it for my partner. I want my partner every morning to wake up and smile. I want my man every morning to wake up and be like, God, I am so happy that I chose you. I am so happy. Every day for 50, 60 years, I want him to think that. I don't ever want him to think like, man, I'm kind of feeling like I'm not so happy right now. I'm stuck with you. No. I want him to feel so happy that he chose me, and I'm so happy that God put me with him. And every day I want to make him happier. That's the attitude that I want, and it's an attitude of gratitude. And I want him to feel super grateful and appreciated in the relationship. And that's why I put this in my top list of relationship skills. So appreciation is just so important. All right, and what else do I have here? Some of the relationship killers are pride and stubbornness. How many people have damaged a relationship or lost a relationship and regretted it because of pride and stubbornness? You wanted this person, but you didn't want to give in. You didn't want to seem like, too needy, or you just couldn't admit when you were wrong. You couldn't apologize, and you were just being stubborn and prideful about it. I have been there before. I've definitely learned from that before, from the past. But a lot of guys, and this affects guys, it affects women. I'm a Taurus, so Tauruses are known to be stubborn and passionate. But a while ago, I had a relationship. This was a long time ago, and I've always learned my lesson from this. But I was prideful about it, and I didn't want to show him all my cards or show him how much I loved him, and didn't fight to get him back because I was worried about, I don't know, I just wanted to be prideful and stubborn about it. And then I realized I never ever want to have that happen, and I realized it when it was too late with him. So it's taught me an important lesson in relationships. I'm never that way. I've never been that way again. And I notice it when I'm prideful and stubborn. What would you rather do? Would you rather lose the person or just be humble? And a lot of people have a problem with being humble. They can't just be humble when they need to be humble. They can't be apologetic when they need to apologize for something. They would rather just, be prideful and not apologize. And that's sad. A lot of times you might be winning the battle, quote unquote, but you're losing the war, and you're losing this relationship that means so much to you just because you can't apologize or you can't humble yourself for a little bit. And a good relationship that lasts, it does require humility. It requires us to humble ourselves sometimes, and it requires us to apologize sometimes. We've got to be able to apologize. And people who can't apologize for something or can't humble themselves, they're in for a lifetime of hurt. They will be lonely, and that's just a sad thing. Relationships are give and take. I want my woman to give me a hug and a kiss when I come home. Yeah. Women inspire men. They're the reason men strive for greatness, for sure. By the way, it looks like most people today are on the YouTube Live instead of the Periscope. It works like a charm. If you come home from an 8-hour shift, recharges your battery. Absolutely. Well, I would definitely hug my man and squeeze him and kiss him when he comes home from work, and just feel like, babe, you've been stressed out all day. You know, I want to just give love to you. I want to give energy to you. I'll let you cool off, do what you want, have a drink, or be in your man cave for a little bit. But I definitely want to like give him my love and show him I love him and I appreciate his working, and then kind of recharge his batteries. And unfortunately, I think a lot of women, when a man comes home from work, the first thing they want to do is just like throw orders at him. They want to nag him for this or that, or they want to say, hey, here's the baby. I've been with the baby all day. Now here's the baby. It's your turn. Go give him a bath. Or did you take out the trash today? Did you do this today? And that's their first approach when a man has been working all day, you know, to throw more orders at him or nag him or throw more work at him. To me, that's just despicable. And it, of course, it's a recipe for disaster, because then your man starts not wanting to come home from work. You know, why would he come home from one war zone to another when he wants to come home to a nice, loving, joyful, and peaceful space, right? Yeah. Apologize when you're wrong. So simple, yet so hard. Women don't know how powerful they are, period. Well, that's true, Will. I think that and DJ, I think when a woman is in touch with her femininity, and she knows that, you know, men have their own power, but women as his helpmate have our own power. You know, we can support him. We can give him loving energy. We can help him fulfill his purpose. We can help him define his purpose, and we can support him in that. And that supportive energy, that loving and joyful energy, to me, that there's nothing more gratifying than giving a man that and seeing the positive effects of that in his life and in his purpose and career. See you soon, G-Money. And then, you know, make him dinner or whatever it is. Help him. Okay, so the last thing I'll go over today is this. So we talked about pride and stubbornness, how that's going to be someone's downfall, right? And let me just recharge. Let me put my charger in for just a second. Okay. Oops. So, where did my windows go? Okay, here we go. All right, we are almost done. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I wanted to go over a communication strategies that I created. I created this a long time ago, and I want to go back to, I want to make sure that I always use this in relationships moving forward. And if a man is not willing to use this strategy with me, if he's unable or unwilling to use the strategy with me, then I feel like it's not the right man for me, because I think these are necessary steps to have a productive conversation and to have a healthy relationships. So do you want to hear what this communication strategy is? Okay, whether you want to hear it or not, I'm going to share it with you. So I think that you'll benefit from this communication strategy. And I use this with my clients as well, and they love it. It's simple, it's nothing too crazy, and I think it should be simple for most people to use, men and women. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying I'm beautiful, AJ252. I will be making sandwiches. I actually love making sandwiches, and I make a good sandwiches. Thanks, DJ. Well, I feel bad because it's in the middle of your work day. So I always feel like it's an hour. I don't want to keep you too much past the hour because it's in the middle of your work day. Thanks, though, DJ. Thank you, Russ. John Galt Gus, you love it when I sing. Thank you. I think I tend to sing a lot. But yes, what I was saying is I make a good sandwich. I love sandwiches, and I make like big sandwiches too. I don't make like wussy sandwiches. I make like big sandwiches with lots of meat in it, lots of everything in it, and make them like nice and big and lovely. I will make a sandwich, but gestures matter in a relationship. Unfortunately, sandwiches are unnecessarily politicized. That's funny. I make a good sandwich. I'll tell you what I'm great at. I make a really great sandwich, and I make a really great pasta. I can make a really good pasta, especially prosciutto and chicken Cajun Alfredo pasta. That's one of my favorites. Yes. My parents need to listen to your very informative broadcast and learn. Yes. DeAnna is trying to find her husband on here. Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, he can be anywhere, right? He can be anywhere. So anyways, so let's go back to the strategy, the communication strategy that I think that you guys will like and benefit from. All right. We talked about God, pride, and stubbornness. Okay. So the communication strategy is called cure come. No, not that kind of. It's cure come. CURKMM. CURKMM. So let's talk about what cure come actually means. The C, it stands for communicate your issue and feelings. Communicate your issue and feelings. So when you have an issue, because we're all going to have issues, right? We're going to have issues. So when you have an issue with your partner, or you have some sort of issue, or you're feeling a certain way, then, well, first you should say, hey, can I talk to you about something? So you don't want to catch them at a bad time, but can I talk to you about something that's important? And when can I talk to you about something that's important? And then they say, sure. Then you say, okay, so communicate your feelings. I feel this way. And when you did this, it made me feel this way. And you share what your feelings are. Or you share, hey, I have an issue with this and I want to talk to you about it seriously. This is an issue that's starting to make me pull back. You share your issue. That is communicating. That is the first step. You've got to be able to share honestly what your feelings are around that certain issue. All right, so that's pretty basic, right? Now this is where it gets sticky. The U stands for understand. All right? The other person needs to get your partner's feeling, needs to get your feelings. They need to understand your perspectives and the issue. And the most important thing is that you do not proceed to the next step until your partner has fully gotten you and until you feel fully gotten by your partner. This is the stage that really honestly gets most people tripped up, because you will share something that's bothering you and then the partner's like, okay, yeah, I get it. And then they want to just move on because it's uncomfortable. It's kind of uncomfortable to share something. A lot of people, I guess, again, the passive aggressive types, they don't want to stir up an argument, or they're afraid of that confrontation. So they are uncomfortable sharing their feelings, and maybe the recipient is also uncomfortable hearing their partner share feelings about them, right, or about this issue. But you have to just get over the comfort and, hold on to the end result, which is a better relationship, an improved relationship. And improvement can only come, a strong, amazing relationship can only come when you guys are fully honest and you can share feelings in a safe space. So I hate to use the term safe space, but you do have to create a safe space for your lover to share those personal feelings with and share an issue. And, this is why this step is so difficult sometimes for people, because you have to not be judgmental. You have to not be someone who, as soon as your partner shares something, you want to turn it around and say, well, you did this to me, and I'm upset about you for this. And then you turn it around on them. If you do that, then step 2 never gets anywhere. The whole purpose of step 2 is to really hear your partner out in a non-judgmental, safe space without attacking them, without getting defensive. We don't like to be told something about us being wrong, so we want to get defensive. But we can't do that in this space. Otherwise, your partner is going to shut down, or they're not going to feel heard. They're not going to feel understood. And they might just be like, okay, fine, and roll over if that's what you want. But it's ultimately going to kill the relationship, because there's going to be a lot of these incomplete conversations, right? And feelings that were never validated, feelings that were never acknowledged, right? So this is why this is probably one of the most important steps. I mean, they're all important in the strategy, but it is so important. And share your feelings, have your partner share your feelings on it, back and forth, without judgment and without getting defensive, without shutting your partner down. And don't proceed to the next step until you both feel complete, like you've shared all your feelings on the matter, and your lover recites it back to you, you know? Like, okay, so you feel this and this and this way. I made you feel sad about this. I made you feel really, really hurt about this. Wow, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize I was making you feel this way. And I know this might sound silly to a lot of people who don't value communication, or who didn't really think of communication this way, but I can't reiterate it enough. It's very important. This is much needed, especially when people only listen for the end in order to drag out a response. Yes, a lot of people, yeah. I'm not thirsty. I'm not sure why you would say that. That's weird. And nor am I hungry. I'm just trying to share with you a communication strategy. So, all right, let's proceed. The R stands for resolution. Resolution is creating a resolution or a new promise or action that works for both of you, that you can both commit to. This is so important. You have to, obviously, to be able to move on from a communication, from a conversation. What's the resolution? Okay, now, obviously, you don't want to have this happen again, and you want to have, you want to be able to resolve it, right? So in order to resolve it, you've got to create a new promise around it. Okay, here's what I'm going to do differently in order to make sure that you don't feel this way ever again. Here's what we should do together as a team to make sure that let's not get in this situation again, you know, or let's improve our relationship in this way. So you create an agreement or a new promise. Sometimes that promise involves actions that the two of you can do together, or that one person promises to do, so that won't happen again. You create these, you know, agreements, and it's fun. I personally think this is fun. This is part of the relationships that I love, and it's the kind of work that I don't think is considered work. I think it's just fun, you know, because you are like creating new resolutions around something, and you're going to both improve the relationship and come out stronger and healthier, with more understanding of each other and how each other works and how each other is going to be happier. So personally, this is why I don't like to avoid communication at all. I don't see it as something that should be avoided, or confrontations I don't think are bad, as long as it's done in a loving way. I get excited because I know that it means that there's going to be a new understanding of each other, a deeper connection, and an even better relationship with this new resolution or new promise. But again, what does this take? What relationship skills does this take? This takes all the relationship skills I just went over. It takes getting over your pride and defensiveness, and takes being, you know, the ability to be humble and humble yourself, the ability to see your partner's perspective, see their side and their point of view. It requires your ability to be understanding, compassionate, empathetic, and not dominating or selfish. You know, it's really going to require you to see the person's point of view, to see their other side, and get in there without getting all defensive. So this is why I love this part of the relationship. I love learning about my partner and seeing how we can improve. And then the K and the MM. Yes. The K and the MM stands for, come on, kiss, make up, and move on. So once you've understand it, the hard part is over with. Okay, we've understood each other. We've gotten over our pride. You know, we're able to like stomach the ugly stuff we don't really want to hear about ourselves, but we did it. and we come to a new agreement. We've come to more common ground. And now that's the harder part is all over with. And now, like, really just enjoy the best part of the relationship. It's a new understanding. You have a deeper connection. And it's time to just kiss, make up, and move on. And then you don't need to argue anymore. There's nothing negative in the space anymore. You've already cleaned it up. Nothing hiding under the rug. The rug doesn't get bigger. The rug is flat once again, and nothing continues to pile up. And I think this is so important too. The kiss, make up, and move on. Don't skip that step. Kiss, and give your partner a real kiss. Don't just be like, okay, we can just skip that step. No, really kiss them like you mean it. And even take a couple minutes to just make out with each other like you mean it. Because when you have a difficult conversation like that, you can still sometimes feel a little bit protective of yourself or a little unloved. You might wonder, like, does my partner still love me? Do they still think of me in the same way? Because you're kind of naked and you're kind of vulnerable. But if you just grab each other and you make out for a few minutes like you mean it, you really restore that sense of love and passion for each other. And you are reassuring each partner that, like, okay, yes, I love you. In fact, I love you even more now. I feel closer to you now. I feel closer. I know your soul better. And you're okay. We're okay. We're going to be good. In fact, we're going to be even better. So do not skip that step of kissing, making out for a few minutes even, if you can. And then kiss, make up, and move on. It's done. You know each other better now. You're not going to make the same mistake again. Or if you do, at least you're going to have a system in place now that you can, check it and then get back on the same team again. The most important thing with communication, why it's so important, is that you stay on the same team together. You are teammates, right? And when you don't have the right communication, if one person is going to be then on a different team, they will be on a different team than you. You're going to start getting on opposing teams because one person's thinking something and the other person doesn't know what they're thinking. They're thinking negative. Then they start thinking negative things about each other and they're no longer on the same team. And that's what makes the relationship fail. It's a slow death. So stay on the same team. That's why it's so important. Communicate in the moment. And that is my strategy for CureCum. CURKMM. Do you guys like it? Can you use it? Is it valuable to you? It's easy, right? And it's fun. And when something happens, again, you just say, let's bust out the CureCum. And that's it. Will, hang in there. Will is bent on being R-rated today. Okay, I'm going to have to look at all the comments because some of them I missed. By the way, I wish that you guys would all go in one platform. If you guys all went on YouTube Live, or you all went on, it seems like more people are on YouTube Live, but if you're all on YouTube Live or all in Periscope, then you could even have that much more fun. Because, see, I see the comments in both of you, both YouTube and Periscope, but I feel like you guys would have even more fun with a bigger family all on YouTube Live. And the funny thing is, yes, it's a for sure common sense, but be surprised how many people in relationships don't follow this. I think it's a pretty simple strategy and it's pretty fun. And not only that, but it's like, it's just, they don't want to because it takes a little bit of work and sometimes, and it takes getting over yourself because you have to have that kind of uncomfortable, difficult part of the conversation. You guys are funny. I'm having dreams about nighttime things in the middle of the afternoon. Unfortunately, common sense isn't so common. Yes, only God's love is real. Are you sure you want all of us on the same platform? Because you know how we are. I think it's great. It's like a big boys' room in here. And I love being around boys, so I grew up around the four brothers. To me, boys' locker rooms are fun. So I feel like that's like my lot in life or something. I'm always the girl in the boys' locker room. That sounded bad. That sounded bad. I mean, I'm always like the girl hanging out with all the boys. And so I feel like no matter what, I can't necessarily get away from that fate. Anyways, Eugene. So I find it less intuitive to respond to others because of being buried. Ah, okay. A boys' room. Yay! So hopefully you guys liked my communication strategy. And I'm going to go and say my closing prayer. Okay, I'm going to say my closing prayer, and then unfortunately I'm going to have to leave you guys. I always get sad when I leave you guys because I'm like, oh, we're just having so much fun in here. Okay, perfect time for the closing prayer because all of us need to be cloaked in God's love and protection right now, and I'm excited. We need to restore our hope that God is good and He's going to provide us with many blessings and lots of things to look forward to this summer. All right, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Dear Lord, I pray that more women and more men see the light and can open their hearts to love instead of hate. They can open their hearts to unity rather than divisiveness. They can open their minds to truth rather than lies. I pray for love and protection for our great President Trump and his family and all those working for us, that they remain safe and resilient in the face of so many forces working against them. I pray for all of you and the truth warriors of the world who are courageously speaking the truth and boldly working to bring those who are in the darkness into the light. Put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. I pray that all of you find true and lasting love and that God puts an incredible helpmate into your life to be with you during this journey and bring you the beautiful family and all the blessings and joy that you deserve. And lastly, we know that good conquers evil, that love conquers hate, and I pray that together with God's help and grace, we were able to make our country and our world great again. Amen. Gosh, that's a long prayer. Should I shorten the prayer? Is it too long, or should I keep it like this? Because it's just got everything I want to say in it. Let me know if you think it's too long, if I should shorten it, or if I should keep it this way. I just like the kind of the blanket of love and security, I think, and safety it puts around us. A woman. It's perfect. Good, good. Mogul and MAGA, and I'm out. Bye, Spanker. Bye, Eugene. Goodbye, Only Loves God is Real. Great screening. Goodbye, DJ. Goodbye, Will. Brian, Roomroll. Goodbye, QB. Oh, I wish you were here for it. It was a great session. Goodbye, Johnny Bravo, John Gus Galt. I will be back on Monday, bright and early, at 9 a.m. Pacific time and 12 p.m. Trump time. Bye. Love you. See you guys Monday.